Hey there, Joe here, Profit First Reseller. It's early in the morning and gratitude is the word of the day today. I'm feeling grateful for this business that I have, working from home. I'm grateful for my life, my family who are safe. They've been on vacation for a few days, so I'm missing them. I've just had some time to reflect, and I got 100 orders to pack, so that's what we're doing today. I packed up a few of these ones that I had already pre-packed in the garage. I just slapped some labels on them, but everything else is upstairs waiting to be packed. So I'm gonna go upstairs, I'll pack about 100 orders for about $3,000 with you here on camera. But just want to say thank you. Gratitude's the name of the day. I'm feeling grateful for my delivery drivers today. I set them up this little carousel with like jerky sticks and protein bars and nuts and stuff. And got some drinks for them too. So man, these delivery drivers make my life possible. UPS and FedEx and our post office drivers allow me to work from home and spend time with my family, and I'm grateful for them. Grateful for you guys. I started this YouTube channel in January, and look where we're at here in December. Over 7,000 subscribers. What the actual F? I in my wildest dreams, I thought maybe 1,000 subscribers would have been possible, so thank you. Thank you so much. I didn't think this is YouTube worthy content. I'll tell you what, I am being very honest with you. This is literally just my life, but I didn't think this is really click worthy, but thank you. Thank you for coming on the journey with me. And let's do this thing. Let's make some money, huh? I was just reading through this little ebook I've got, little ebook reader. And it's got a bunch of quotes. And it's a book full of quotes by one of my favorite authors, Nassim Taleb. And he's got one that really hit me in the feels. I thought I'd share with you here. He says, you remember emails that you sent that were not answered better than emails that you did not answer. You remember emails you sent that were not answered better than emails that you did not answer. It's true. And I just want to apologize. I think probably some of you watching this, and I know there's some emails in my inbox that I have not responded to, and I need to be better about that. I get wrapped up in my own BS, like all of us, and I need to respond to those emails. I want to tie up those loose ends. So thank you for being patient with me and understanding, and it's kind of good to do some reading to start the day here. All right, so what I'm going to try to do here, I'm going to try to record my screen, and we can read some comments as I work. I was trying to record my screen on Pirate Ship to show you how I would ship in the whole process, but there are just so many addresses on that screen that I just can't possibly show you that screen. So you can see me click, you can see how fast it is. You're gonna have to try Pirate Ship for yourself. It really is as easy as it sounds. There's big green buttons, you push get rates, you click print labels, and that is how I ship and print all of these labels here from my eBay store. Pirate Ship just automatically imports it, so when I open up, my homepage is literally just set to Pirate Ship, and it's my Pirate Ship eBay orders, and then I just can click through and Bob's your uncle, I guess. So here, let me start this recording here. Let's see if this works. So I'm just gonna, I don't know, I'm recording my computer screen. I have no idea if this is gonna work, but if it is, you can see the comments while I am working on the other half of my computer screen here. That'll be kind of fun. So this is 2 NES controllers sold for $50 plus shipping here. And these are not your typical NES controllers. These are the ones with the shorter cord and the more Wii style plug that goes to the NES Classic. These ones have the CLV model number prefix. And yeah, they sell well. The little consoles sell great. They sell for about $40, and these usually sell for about 25 to 30 each. So yeah, this was $50 plus shipping here. One other cool thing about Pirate Ship is that I have all of my weight classes pre-saved as presets. So I only have 3 sizes of poly bag essentially. I have a 13 by 10 and a 10 by 7. These are the ones that I use 90% of the time. And then I have a much larger one, a 14 by 18. But for these two, often the stuff going in these is under a pound. And for ground advantage, there's 4 different prices: 4 ounces, 8 ounces, 12 ounces, and then 1 pound or 16 ounces. So every 4 ounces, there's a different weight class. So I just have saved presets at 3.9 ounces, 7.9 ounces, 11.9, and then 15.9 to make sure I get that optimized rate. And then if anything is up to 3.9 ounces in one of these bags, I don't have to type in any dimensions. I just click. I can use my mouse, and I find that a lot faster. So, for example, with these two, I'm going to be able to stick both of these into a 13 by 10. I'm going to fold this in half. So I am taking out some of the extra space. This actually is more like a 10 by 10 or maybe like a 10 by 8 now. I'm still going to choose that 13 by 10 preset just to give me some wiggle room. I have my scale is on grams because I've been testing gaming mice. So I got the G Pro Superlight, and this is the Razer V3 Pro, and I'm loving this. And it's like 62 grams, and it's helping my my Overwatch game. So anyway, so with this is showing up as 6.8 ounces, so it's under 8 ounces. So I'm going to choose my preset of 13 by 10 and 7.9 ounces and just click get rates. So that's just 2 quick clicks, maybe 3 once you include get rates. Makes it a lot faster. And then I can just click by label. And oh, Heather just texted me and said, I need to check on something real quick, so just give me a second here. Oh, she's just reminding me of some stuff. Okay, yeah, cool. Cool. All good. Man, Heather is my second brain. So grateful for you, Heather. So helpful in reminding me of things. I completely missed part of my mom's text yesterday, and she was like, did you end up going to their house for lunch? And I was like, what? She helps me. She even like probably guessed that I didn't fully absorb that text or something. I don't know what is wrong with my brain this week, but anyway. Let's see. This is the console that goes to those controllers. I see a little scuff right there that I'm going to take out with a little magic eraser before I ship this off. Let's see. I'm not set up for cleaning, but just in case anything little comes up here, I like to have a little magic eraser, the classic, the polyester microfiber cloth, and some rubbing alcohol. I'm just going rubbing alcohol. It's not my favorite smell, but I don't mind it, and especially compared to most of the other cleaners that actually do anything. Rubbing alcohol is great. I mean, I might start with water. Water also is a great cleaner, and it's not at all gross and disgusting to smell. So I'm just going to search this model number, which I believe is CLV-001. And pull up that order. And another cool thing about Pirate Ship is it remembers if I've ever sold this exact item before. So apparently I'd never sold 2 of those controllers at the same time before, or else it would have remembered that. But in this case, I've definitely sold one of these consoles. And yeah, Heather's is so nice to remind me of what I need to do today. So I can just click get rates because it already remembers. So it has a suggested package where the default is just the last thing that I shipped, which was this exact package size. So it's a 13 by 10, also in the 8 ounce class. And I'm gonna ship this thing off to Florida. I do need to, at one point I was trying to create a macro to automate some of these clicks, to click through and go ahead and print the item, because there's like 3 clicks to confirm printing the item, and I really don't like that. Okay, this is a pink Mimosin Plush controller that Heather totally took care of, cleaned and tested the whole thing. It sold for $18.99 plus shipping. It's a great sale. And that's going to go into this 10 by 7 poly bag. And Pirate Ship already remembers this package weight, so I'm not even going to weigh this one. I've sold this before. So I'm just going to click get rates. And so while I'm packaging this, I can be loading the pages in the background and clicking as I go. I also have a trash right here. My instinct is to reach behind me into this other trash can, but I'm trying to train myself to use the trash can to my left. I've replaced the functionality of the forward button. You know how mice have like a back and a forward button? I never use forward. I don't think I've ever needed to go forward in my tabs. So I replaced forward with a macro that takes me to my home page. And so as soon as I click print, I click that forward button with my thumb on my mouse. That takes me back, excuse me, to my home page, which is my Pirate Ship page, and just gets me ready to ship the next order. So I just found that saves me a few seconds, and all that stuff just makes such a difference. Here's another wired controller sold on its own for $29.99. Again, this is that NES Classic Edition controller. Just really excellent build quality. Feels a lot like the original NES controller. Just got that like slightly matte, grippy texture to the plastic. It's not slick. Really nice. There's a little bit more pronounced, I feel like, on the Super Nintendo controllers, but still it's there on the NES. So we can read some comments too. NEPA Prepper said, everyone has to stop posting about eBay because everyone is going to get in on it and everyone is going to beat the lowest price. Eventually it's going to get down to $1 and it's not going to be worth anything. Interesting thoughts. And then they had a follow-up. I've been so bad about responding to comments. So this is part of my due diligence here, I guess. But they also said, like, I have a bunch of new product, but there's so many sellers flooding the market trying to beat everyone's prices. I literally couldn't give it away. Literally have to sell it for dirt cheap. Yeah, basically the more people post about it and about how easy it is, the less you're going to make. It's just how it is. Not handing on your videos, love watching them. Well, thank you, Napa Prepper. In a way, I completely agree. I guess I don't necessarily agree that that is bad necessarily. Here's what I mean. For the world, I think it's actually better that prices do come down and that more people do have opportunities. But it's just the nature of it that as more people flood into an arena, there's going to be more competition and there is going to be less easy money to be made. But at the same time, there are more cheap and quality products being available to the consumer. Like if we really are just rushing to try to get people the best possible thing at the lowest price, I think for the world that's good. Now it sucks that we individually can't make as much money on it, but I think that's up to us to find new ways and to also take advantage of these new efficiencies and try to make money in our own business with all these new tools, right? Computers and iPhones and AI and all this stuff, right? So as things, do change, I think there's going to be more opportunity as well. And I have just kind of learned to accept it. Like, yeah, for me, Wii remotes are not as good as they once were. And maybe that's just also, and I know that it's also partly because I'm just increasing my standards of profitability. And even when it was going well, I was selling a lot, but I think that I was spending a lot more time than I realized on those Wii remotes. And I'm just continuing to just do an audit of my time and how effective how effective my time per hour is, really. Let's see, I need to search this. 5416 is the SKU number on this little hard drive. It's a little 500 gig replacement hard drive. Sold for $6 for the PS4, but I pop out the hard drives as I'm testing consoles and I'll tend to sell them separately. And for the PS3s and the PS4s, they use standard laptop hard drives, but they do use a special caddy, like a little piece of metal that kind of goes around it. And it's different for every model, so there's multiple models within each one, which is super annoying. But anyway, and yeah, SATA hard drive. The demand for SATA hard drives is going way down. I think most people are replacing those with, SSD drives. But I do still sell those SATA hard drives, and they're still good. They're good for somebody, for sure. Let's see. This is a Konami microphone. Yeah, I guess it's this one here. Sold for $5.99. So all these microphones are literally the same. They're all by Logitech. There's two. There's one with a smaller dongle and a larger dongle. This is the smaller one. And they tend to be compatible with a ton of different consoles, 360, PS3, Wii, just standard USB port. And the only thing that really differs on them is just the branding on here. It'll say Guitar Hero or Rock Band or Disney or any number of things, depending on which game it was bundled with. So this one is just general Konami, and I'm sure it was used for a bunch of different games. I don't actually know which one the Konami one came with. There's a white version of this too. And this sold for $5.99 plus shipping. Get it in, get it out. This is one of my items I get a ton of. I just throw it into the bin, I up the inventory, and I sell it quick, hopefully. So I'm just gonna grab a couple more items that I'll be able to pack next as I throw it up here. So NEPA Prepper, I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I think that the more we talk about it, the more eBay sellers are gonna come on board, and that is going to make it harder in some ways. I think there's a chance it could be like a rising tide raises all boats thing, and maybe we could all make eBay better and increase the total market size. That's possible, I guess. I don't know. Ooh, there's gonna be some taping. Unfortunately, gotta do some taping. As always, got the 3-inch tape here. My trusty 3-inch tape. And I've got some of these Oculus controllers. These have been selling like crazy during the holidays here. So, let's see, this one is the Oculus left side controller. So I just quickly test these. I reset them. I think on this one, the left side, you have to hold down menu and Y for a few seconds until it starts to flash, just to get ready to pair for the next person. And this just got a few sheets of bubble wrap because it fits so nicely into this really sturdy box, which I get. This box I actually get with my eBay shipping coupon. This is the 6x5x5 box. So I get this, you know, for free. You pay for the subscription. But I do get a certain amount, I think it's $50 or something, to spend on the eBay shipping supply store, and often I get these boxes. So this one, Pirate Ship already knows, literally weighs 7.9 ounces. So satisfying as this goes in that under 8 ounce class. Shipping for $4.99 here. What did I push? Okay. Boom. Also have been loving this auto peeling. I will say this auto peeling label printer has been great. So I just have to pull it off and stick it on. So easy. No more peeling, no more ripping. It just, the roll just goes down straight into a trash can that I have under my desk here. So it continually feeds the bottom part into the trash, and the top part just feeds the stickers right to me. Pretty cool. This is pretty cool. I think this is Espeon on this Power A controller, and typically Power A controllers are not worth very much money, but these wireless ones for Switch are worth more than the wired, as you would expect, and then the wireless ones that are shaped like GameCube controllers are worth even more. So let's see, is this really Espeon? It is Espeon. I just typed Espeon and it popped up. So this sold for $38.50. So I just tested it. I have a Switch, you know, this tablet console over here that I keep for testing. The Switch menu is really great. It has a full calibration menu where you can test the joysticks and all the buttons very quickly without having to go into a game, just there in the controller settings. So I love that. The Switch controller is very easy to test. And then throw some new AA batteries in there. It's sold for $38.50. So this one I've never sold before, so it also is going to go in that 8 ounce class in a 13x10 bag. So I can actually click it here and get this thing shipped off. And these, I did not realize had so much value. I've just been kind of sitting on these for a while. I think I ended up collecting 10 or 12 of them before I listed them. And I think I sold 2 already in the first day or 2. And let me see, it's called the transfer pack. I think it helps you transfer Game Boy information from your Game Boy cartridge to N64. I'm assuming this was for the Pokemon games and like Pokemon Stadium or something. But I never actually used this as a kid. Yeah, $12.99 plus shipping. Not bad. Get this thing shipped off here. Another comment from Trash Panda's Thrift. Oh, yay, Bethany, thank you. So I made a video, not like tongue-in-cheek, but I was like ranking the women of reselling, and I think that they were all amazing. I'm not here to like hate on anybody, so I only picked people that I like, and I ranked them all at S tier, and I think Bethany just saw the video and said thank you. So yeah, they're great. I think they're even moving on to mentoring, and Bethany and Sean, I think Sean is her husband's name. I think they were the first ones that I ever heard of resellers selling back to thrift stores, like selling them good inventory, in high-end thrift stores. I think in San Francisco or New York. Like they've lived in a bunch of different big cities. So I have not checked in with their channel in a little bit, but man, they're always so inspiring. Let's see, James Shanner said, where do you source products? Or James Shannon? That is one thing I don't share. Sorry, James. Mr. Exquisite said, great for this. Also, Mr. Exquisite, one of our longtime commenters. He's been commenting from the very beginning of the channel, so I appreciate you, man. Speaking of gratitude, I appreciate all your comments here. He said, great to hear the success, Joe. TMI, but for other viewers, I'm dealing with bloating and intestinal issues for the last few years, which looks weird on my 150-pound frame and it hurts. I'm very healthy, but this issue's been horrible. I switched to a lower carb diet for the past few months and I feel amazing, and the bloating and stomach issues have been slowly going away. I do eat rice and some natural starches in moderation and have my macros set at 25% and lower, and it's been great. Yeah, cool. It reminds me of like the Perfect Health diet. I think Perfect Health diet, Paul Jaminet or something, had a diet that was kind of similar, like lower carb, but with some rice and starches. Prepackaged food and starches contain so much inflammatory problems, most people don't realize what is poisoning them. Breakfast starts out with almost all protein, and then if I do end up eating some starch at dinner, I keep it light and my body can process it better. So cool, man. That's awesome. I think I mentioned in my last video or a couple of videos ago, I've been on a low carb diet for a little while. That's been great. I feel really great. Been eating a lot of sardines, a lot of steak. Thanks to a new YouTube channel I've been following, Nick Horwitz, who's like an MD PhD and has really been pushing his version of the keto diet called the Mediterranean keto diet, which focuses on a lot of healthy fats and just healthier food sources in general. He's been talking a lot about the sardine fast and just sardines in general. Just need to remember what I packed up here. Anyway, Nick Horwitz was talking about eating sheep and goat dairy being different than normal cow dairy because it is something called A2, so it has a different form of protein. And I remember as a kid responding a lot better to goat dairy, but I've been off of dairy for a long time, like years and years, but decided to try some sheep cheese, and it's awesome. I got this kind of like semi-hard cheese, kind of has the consistency of a Parmesan, maybe it's slightly softer than a Parmesan cheese, and it's just, and my body's been soaking it up, so that's been kind of fun. So olives, a little bit of cheese as a snack in the afternoon, sardines, and then I got a bunch of steaks, a bunch of ribeyes from this discount grocery store here in Dallas called Jovi's. So I've been eating a lot of steak and just loving it. It's been really satisfying. And yeah, I've got some goals. I've got some cardio fitness goals and just some goals to be mobile. And like with my plantar fasciitis, I just was willing to try anything. So it's been helping. It's definitely been helping. I think it's just, I think when you're reducing inflammation from food, at least in my case, it feels like it's allowing my body to focus its healing factors on other things, like finally getting around to like healing these old wounds. It's kind of interesting to think about. All right, here we got a microphone. This is a Rock Band microphone. So this is the larger dongle that I was talking about. Still made by Logitech, just a slightly different model. And this one has the Rock Band branding on it. And typically the ones with Rock Band or Guitar Hero go for a couple more bucks. And this one went for $7.99. Whew, I'm getting some sun, which is great. And usually I just squint and just take in the sun, but I'm gonna do I don't know, actually it's nice. It's nice. I'm gonna show you what I actually do. I'm gonna change things up here. I like the sunlight in my eyeballs, right there, in my eyeballs, but I put on my glasses, which are auto tinting, so I'm like wearing sunglasses inside, but I still get some of the effects of the sun. It kind of wakes me up, so I'm gonna do that. For most of my eBay career, I've been standing doing this packaging, but with my plantar fasciitis, I've had to change some things. So I'm spending less time on my feet. I do think it's because I was just home and barefoot all the time, and that was just a lot of impact and stress on those tissues. I'm just trying to spend a little more time sitting, I guess. So, all right, yeah, this should darken up nicely, but I'm still gonna get that sun in my eyes, and I'm just gonna be squinting, and it's gonna be awkward, and there's gonna be sunshine coming in, but that's what I do. All right, this went for $7.99 plus shipping. Let's see, got another comment here from Xander D03. Said, I'm in my early 20s and finding a consistent source is difficult, but I don't give up, although it's not a lot. I net around 300 a week or so. It really helps without a job due to the job market for my degree being tough. A great video. Thank you, man. Yeah, finding consistent source is one of the hardest things. I mean, consistent source, I don't know any reseller that has a perfectly consistent source. I think that's always going to be a challenge, and it's just about staying ahead of the game and being proactive about that. Nobody's just handing out high quality inventory with a huge profit margin on the street, you know, like you got to go look into that stuff. Johnny Fox says, why do you use pirate ship instead of eBay labels? So the prices are slightly different. Typically it evens out and overall it's about the same. Sometimes pirate ship's a little cheaper, but the main reason we use pirate ship is because we were just not able to consistently hook up our credit card to eBay to force eBay to use our credit card for shipping labels. And the reason we want to use our credit card for shipping labels is because we can just farm credit card points. So with pirate ship, that's what we do. We just hook up our business credit card and just farm the points and just cash them in. So it helps. It's understandable. So eBay really tries to either take the funds from your funds, your seller funds, which means that they don't have to pay a credit card fee. So that way eBay makes more margin, because if they have to run your credit card for the shipping label, they have to pay a fee to the credit card companies. But if they're just pulling it out of your already internal eBay funds, it's already in eBay dollars essentially, and there's no processing fee for eBay. So I think that's why eBay pushes sellers to just pay for shipping labels with their funds. And the other option is PayPal, who I think is affiliated with eBay in some way. And so it also makes sense why they want you to use PayPal. But PayPal, I can't get it to consistently use the correct card either, for whatever reason. So Pirate Ship makes it super easy. You just have to log in once with your eBay account and it pulls in all the orders for you. And it's just a great system. All right, this one is a wired controller for, again, the NES Classic. This one sold for $25. Get them out of here. I love it. K-Pool, the book lady. Oh yeah, K-Pool's great. I see her popping up on all kinds of awesome channels. I was reading yesterday that for plantar fasciitis, one of those shiatsu mats, those spiky mats, are supposed to be really good to stand on for it. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Thank you, Kay. Yeah, a lot of it is tightness and like bound up muscles and fascia. And from what I've heard, those spiky mats kind of overstimulate your muscles or whatever and kind of force them to calm down and relax. That's why people like lying down on them. So yeah, I will look into that. Thank you, yeah. Maybe something to stand on while I'm working here. And I'm all about weird, slightly uncomfortable, self-improvement tools. So I will look into it. Yeah, I've never actually tried one of those things. I know like Dave Asprey, the bulletproof guy, used to lay on one of those things a long time ago. I think it's the first time I ever heard of that. Beached Whale 12 says, I've thought about this with my business, wondering if you've also thought about like what the hypothetical peak money you could make from your business. The peak money I could make. That is a really interesting thought, Beached Whale. I don't know if I think about it in the same way. Like, the peak is infinite. Is that stupid to think about? Like, I don't see a peak here. I just see continual improvement and options and opportunities for improvement. 5133 and 5585. Oh yeah, so someone bought both of these Oculus Rift controllers. So I'm gonna package them up together. Like, there's so many ways I could have done better this year, and I think next year there's so many ways in which I could do better. And like, choosing a number for a cap Like, okay, but I'll never make more than 500,000, or I'll never make more than 600,000, is to assume I already know all the shortcuts, and I don't. Like, it's like, I feel like that's would just be assuming I already know all the rules of the game and the winners and losers, and I don't know what I'm capable of, but I think it's a lot more than this. And yeah, even if we never move, even just in this space, like pick whatever constraints, I think even given those, I think I can continue to find ways to improve. So I thought like the hypothetical peak money, like I guess I had to do a little bit of a calculation in my head just to know that I theoretically could make enough to pay the bills. Like that's important. But I've never thought about the peak. I don't even think that there is a ceiling. And if it exists, I'm not there yet, so it doesn't really matter. And if I hit a block, I don't want to be blaming it as like, oh, I've just hit my peak. Like I do hear sellers talk like that. Like, oh, eBay caps my sales at a certain amount. Like, yeah, this giant corporation wants to make some money off of me, but not too much money. Like, no, dude, you're seeing a cap in your own abilities. Like the eBay store for most people is a reflection of you. It's a solo operation, right? Or it's a very small operation. So you can just kind of look around and figure out the issue. It's like you don't ever list more than a certain amount per week. And that's why you don't ever sell more than a certain amount per week. If you really consistently list quality items and you continue to push up that limit, that there not the limit, but like, you know, your abilities, like there isn't a limit there. I think that the returns, I don't think eBay is going to go, knows that there's still one person at your house and say, well, that guy can only make 300,000 a year, but I'm going to cap him there because I know they don't have any employees yet. Like, no, if I doubled my output next year, I think my sales would close to double, right? I mean, somewhere in there. That's the kind of math I do in my head, I think. So, yes. So Angela Rodeo, this next question, this next comment here is what got me thinking about the barefoot thing. So after being a barefoot stay-at-home mom for a long time, yeah, I mean barefoot work-at-home dad here, I developed this plantar fasciitis. Wearing supportive sneakers with inserts all the time just about cured mine. Well, yeah, I'm wearing very supportive shoes now, and I have insoles ordered. I've never ordered insoles before, but yeah, I'm willing to do what it takes here. So these sold for $50, these two controllers here, something like that. I got some more Oculus controllers here. Oh, Carrie, American Arbitrage said, what a beautifully unexpected video. Thank you, man. Big fan of Carrie, American Arbitrage. The way he talks about his wife is just so awesome. And he's also hilarious. I do like their podcast, the Trash to Cash podcast. So thanks, Gary. Adam Sam, 6823 said, congratulations, Joe, on hitting your target achievement with eBay sales. That's an impressive milestone. Wishing you continued success and even greater accomplishments ahead. Keep up the fantastic work. Hold on. Just making sure this is the one that I thought it was. Yes, okay. It is the left Oculus controller. Let me click this here. Also, I noticed you mentioned eating a lot of sardine cans. While they can be a great source of protein and omega-3 fatty acids, consuming too much can sometimes lead to issues such as high sodium intake and potential mercury exposure. Just a friendly reminder to enjoy them in moderation. Take care. Thank you, man. Yeah, so I've looked a lot into the worries about mercury exposure and seafood. Sardines are very, very safe, relatively, to the point where you really don't need to worry about the mercury exposure. Like, I think that one can of tuna has like 20 times or 30 times the amount of mercury as a can of sardines. And then, you know, like one swordfish steak has just even more than that, just a single serving. So I think I'm well within my limits, but I will continue to get my blood checked for sure and make sure that I'm not too high in anything as I'm trying out any new diet. I'll probably get some blood work done in a month or two. Yeah, but basically the acronym that I heard is SMASH for the safe foods. I don't know what is getting plugged and unplugged here. That's super annoying. Weird. So smash is sardines, mackerel, anchovies, salmon, and herring. So these are the kind of like small fish that I guess don't live long enough to accumulate those kind of heavy metals. And specifically sardines are just, I think, really great for that. So anyway, got another left Oculus controller here. I think it's the third one I've sold. These are selling for $55. So huge demand on these Oculus 2 controllers still. And like I was mentioning, I pop in some fresh batteries, give them a quick test, quick reset. Easy. Benny Stratton said, I love the BFG. I read that to the kids when they were younger. The movie is great too. Food for thought, since you were on YouTube. Have you ever thought about doing a channel where you read stories to kids? Oh, thank you. That's so nice of you to say. You have a great aura and voice for that. It might work out great for you. I know Grumpy Granny actually did that at one time. Not sure if she still does. Oh, I'll have to look at that. You know, I've thought about that a lot. I love reading books to kids. Like I said, I've probably read 100 books to my kids already and plan to read hundreds more. And I think it'd be a lot of fun. I've thought about it. So maybe the next series that we start, I might record it. And it would be unique because I think that there would be interruptions from the kids, and that would be kind of part of the content, and them asking questions and stuff. Or I could even just do it, chapter by chapter as we read. We usually read a couple of chapters each night, and that's actually a great idea. I might start recording those. I think it'd be a fun little podcast, like a nighttime podcast for other people. Anyway, yeah, thank you. I think it's a great idea, Benny Stratton. Yeah, well, I already got the recording stuff. Might as well, huh? This is one of those backbone controllers. You got to kind of peel it apart to see the model number. This is the BB-02 in black. They also come in white. They have lightning ports, sometimes they have USB ports. You got to be really careful which model you got. But people do love them for their, you pop a phone or a tablet in there and do some mobile gaming. Now we're a gamer. There's some work going on outside. I don't know what's going on. This is it's like a tow truck or something. Yeah, it is. There's like a lift going on. I don't think that noise will be going on forever, but some action going on in the cul-de-sac out there. All right, this backbone controller sold for, I don't know, I already clicked away, but I think it was like $15. The only one that sells for more is the USB-C version, but that one is a little more rare. All right, we're making some progress. I got a little pile over here. It's mostly small stuff today, thankfully. Not a lot of big stuff to pack or anything, or big consoles. This is such a fun game. For Ring Fit Adventure, you put a Joy-Con in here and you have to squeeze and pull. It really is a unique workout, and somehow it knows how much you're squeezing and pulling. It's a really fun thing. I mean, these typically sell for like $15. This one sold for 10, actually. Not great, but I get them in. Sell them as a replacement part, get them out of here. I just mostly wrap it up to protect that little Joy-Con attachment part. I think everything else is incredibly sturdy. It's like a stainless steel band. So this goes into this 14 by 18 poly bag with just a little bit of bubble wrap around that connection area. And Pirate Chip already knows how much she weighs here. Let's see. John Sid said, I believe that it was Jocko that asked the question, would you rather feel the pain of discipline or the pain of regret? It hit me pretty hard, and now that's what I ask myself before I quit or slack at something, especially when it comes to my business or health. And that is so good. I think, especially for somebody who incorporates working out into their kind of lifestyle. Let's see. I want to make sure this is the right one. This is a controller for the HMD Odyssey. Yeah, right-hand controller, yeah. These are so weird and huge. They have a kind of touchpad, very like Steam controller-like kind of touchpad, D-pad combo. Kind of an obscure virtual reality component, but it's sold for $24.99. And this I'm going to put into a box. That ring is just too precious That gets smashed. Yeah, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Yeah, I do think that in some ways, optimizing for minimal regret is a very useful tool in life. So I think all of us can be kind of focused on the short term too much sometimes. And this is just a little too big for that other box. I think thinking about the pain of this or the pain of regret kind of helps you remember, like, maybe sometimes it's just you just got to choose your hard. Stop trying to find the easy path, but just choose your hard. And I think that's something that Dr. K on this podcast a little while ago really instilled in me. Dr. K goes by Healthy Gamer GG on YouTube. And he was talking about how a lot of life satisfaction and happiness in his mind comes down to a ratio between active challenges and passive challenges. And just to keep in mind that, like, all of us have struggles, like all of us have difficulties. And paradoxically, sometimes the solution is to take on more because it gives you a sense of agency. I think, and a sense of purpose, you know. If you're struggling with the responsibilities in your life, you're struggling with your job, sometimes taking on a workout habit or adopting a pet, even though it's taking on more, it's challenges that you choose. And we all deal with so many challenges that we don't choose, you know, relationships, family, health, and we didn't choose this stuff. And there's always gonna be something. I'm realizing that the more I read about these, or I watch YouTube about older athletes or people in the longevity or trying to live a long time and push their bodies, athletes who have maintained that longevity, they're always injured in some ways. Not actually, but there's always something they're nursing or they're going to physical therapy for one thing or another. But it's active. I think in some ways they did it to themselves. And of course it was going to happen eventually. Your body's going to break down eventually. But if you feel like you've taken ownership of it, I think you have a different attitude about it. Instead of just tumbling down this hill of failing health as you get older, you're just seeing them as continuing challenges. I want to continue to run. And so if this is in my way, this is just the next challenge. But I think I've kind of am starting to release that need to be in great health all the time. I think that just I'm learning to appreciate the amount of health that I have at any given time. I think I'm at the age now where it's going to be very unlikely that I don't have something going on. And I think that's okay. I think I'm lucky, and I think if I can just reframe it, it's all active challenges, all the health stuff, all of it. In a way, I kind of choose it because I want to participate in this life. Like I want problems. I don't want a life free of problems. I think it'd be so boring. So, yeah, the pain and discipline or the pain and regret. I think trying to minimize regret, and yeah, by just doing the hard stuff now. I think if you push your body now, you're going to experience some discomfort, but very potentially less discomfort later as you enjoy your greater health. It's a fun little older piece of history. This is a component video selector from GameStop. But GameStop, I think, rebranded a lot of Pelican stuff, and even just this by the model number and the way that this tag is oriented, I can tell this is also made by Pelican, who makes decent, not just decent, high quality stuff. And I think GameStop just white labeled a bunch of their products. This is one of them. And it already has the Xbox, PS2, GameCube, or other tags there on the front. So ready to be enjoyed by a real old school gamer. This sold for $14.99 plus shipping. Tom Wood said, "You're a deep guy, someone I would call a seeker. You know, Jesus Christ said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to God except through me. I did know he said that. He said a lot of deep, heavy, life-changing things. I recommend you pick up a red letter, or Words of Jesus in Red, and just read the red letters in the Gospels of Luke and John. I love your channel. I love your transparency and willingness to teach us all what success on eBay looks like. I wish you and your wife the best. You're good people and good parents and role models to this generation. Oh, thank you. I just pray that you get to know your Maker and his purposes for you. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Tom from Texas. Oh, fellow Texan. Thank you, Tom. Oh, there's so much love in that message. Thank you, man. I am definitely, I think, what most people would call a seeker. I am definitely, honestly seeking the truth. I'd like to, and I don't just mean scientific or physical truths that make logical sense. I mean spiritual truths too. Like I'm interested in all of it. I grew up very religious. My dad was, all through my childhood, and still is, a Protestant pastor, and I still have a very good relationship with him. And at this point, I guess I'm what you'd consider, we're getting deep. I mean, at this point, we're almost an hour into the video, so it's only the true OGs are watching now, so we're gonna get a little deep here. But I'm what I've heard called non-resistant non-believer, in the sense that I'm open to it. I've asked and I've prayed and all that stuff, and I just feel like I haven't received a satisfactory answer. And unfortunately, belief is not something that I can just turn on or off like a faucet any more than I can kind of force myself to believe that the sky is green. And I can seek and ask and listen, but I can't force myself to believe something. And I've prayed, I just never heard back, unfortunately. So I am a seeker. That is so true. And I'm so open, and I think that, like, morally, in a way, my dad and I are so aligned. Not in a way, in almost every way we were so aligned, even though philosophically I'm a little bit more of a humanist, I guess is what you'd call me. I don't know, just a seeker. I don't know what I am. And my dad is very much more definite about where his moral code comes from. And I think that we've both come to some peace around that, honestly. My dad's like really an amazing person, and has himself grown and been on his own spiritual journey. It's been amazing to watch. So, and we really challenge each other a lot. In fact, I've thought about starting another little YouTube series with my pops. If I can remember what I just packed in here, that'd be really great. Yes, it's that JVC camcorder. I want to get my dad on because we have such a great relationship, but it is kind of a funny dynamic of my dad being a pastor for like 40 years and me not being super religious, I guess. Like, I don't go to church every week, but we are so similar, and I think people see that when they see us together. So I think it'd be a fun dynamic, and I think if we can get the two of us on YouTube, and my idea is to have us reacting to things. My original idea was maybe like I would bring a few videos to the table, maybe some of my favorite hip-hop music videos or a clip from a podcast I thought was thought-provoking, and I can kind of put it on and get my dad's response. Maybe he could do the same about some section of a book that he's been reading, or a speaker or something. I think we might still do that, or at least, and my dad, I ran the idea past him, and he's down. He said, why don't you just pick the videos? So I think I might do a reaction video about hip-hop music. So I'm going to be like having my pastor dad react to hip-hop music videos. I have him watch some of the stuff I've been listening to lately. So, all right. This is a bunch of Nintendo Switch game cases only. Mario Kart, Zelda, a couple other ones. Luigi's Mansion, I think. Just some random Switch cases I had lying around. Threw them in a lot. Sold in a couple days. And sold for $17.99 plus shipping for just 4 Switch cases only. No games. So that's pretty cool. Gem Flipper, oh, right on. Gem Flipper said, I too suffer from plantar fasciitis. Gem Flipper also, YouTube content creator here, an eBay seller. It'll suddenly appear and then disappear. The reason why you're seeing success with the Mediterranean diet is because the food is very anti-inflammatory. The fats found in that kind of diet are really good at reducing your body's inflammatory response. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I think, yeah. It sucks. I love carbs, but I think I do better without them for now. The body's primary source of fuel is carbohydrates, which break down into glucose or sugar. The problem in today's world is that we consume more carbohydrates than we need. Therefore, we put a lot of sugar floating around in our bodies, and that triggers an inflammatory response. I just wanted to add that inflammation is a good thing and necessary, but to be in a state of continual inflammation is not. Yeah, it's kind of like stress, right? Like when you work out and you're pushing, you're straining, that is stressful. You don't want to be doing that all the time. But I think in some ways, periods and bouts of small amounts of stress or triggers, I think can be good for you. And like inflammation in some parts of your body is good because I think your body's always dealing with some issue or another. But I feel like you're just adding more insult to whatever pre-existing injury you have by eating carbs, or at least I am, unfortunately. So, oh man, I'm still working on my first bin here. This is a slog. But I'm happy to have you guys here with me. Definitely makes it more fun. Let's see. This is another Konami microphone. There we go. Miss Lachey resells. Oh yeah, this comment made me laugh so much. So Joe, what are you talking about, LOL? Are you trying to be a wizard now? What's going on, man? I think you need to get off with sardines. I hope all is well. Miss Lachey is great. I need those kind of friends in my life. Keep me on my toes. Thank you. Yeah, I was off. I was talking about wizards and snaz cumbers. What was that video about? Who knows? It's got some good views, but that was a weird one. It's funny. Adam JKL7 says, look for land close to your home. Then you can buy a large walk-in storage containers to keep on your new property. Eventually you can build a warehouse on that land. Ah, the dream, yeah. In that video, we ended up not going for it, of course. I would have talked about it more, but we saw a house on our street here that was for sale, and I was considering like buying another property because I do feel like we're just so on top of each other in this house. It'd be nice to have extra space for the business. But at the end of the day, I don't want two homes. I don't want to have to worry about two sets of maintenance and all that stuff. And I don't want to have a home without renters because that's just a huge financial burden. But I also don't want renters. So I think we just need to wait for bigger property. And there's not a lot of bigger houses in the little area that we're at. And we love this area, but they do pop up occasionally. So we're just keeping a lookout, and yeah, we'd love to have a property with a little warehouse or workshop or something, or a big warehouse or workshop. That'd be awesome. Mark Farr says, dude, I missed you. Oh, I missed you too, buddy. Hope more videos will be coming. Oh yes. Just, you know, it comes and goes, but this is just a little period of focusing on the business and getting the numbers back on track, and boy howdy, did they. Our numbers are looking good. Jake Day said, of course sharing your Wii Remote secret hurt your listing. Your wife is sweet though. My wife's very sweet. She was just questioning if like our YouTube videos actually could have enough impact to change the pricing. And I'm still debating on that because I talked to my buddy Ethan Lupo on YouTube. Check him out. And Ethan is right. I think according to the research, the price has gone up on these Wii Remotes. So I think it might just be me. I think maybe my listing isn't as good. It's kind of dirty. The pictures, like the background's a little dirty on mine, and maybe due to the increased competition or something, I don't know, but my listings are not doing as well. But overall, I think they're doing fine. I don't remember what I just packed up. I think it's another one of these, but I'm not 100% sure, and I need to be 100% sure. No, see, glad I checked. That is the power adapter for those NES Classic consoles. Also sells quite a bit. Let's see. Oh, JFH says the NCAA price went down because they made a new version of that game. Most game prices have stayed the same or gone up, especially Nintendo. Yeah, I think you're right. I think most of the prices have gone up. Especially since last year around this time. Yeah, Renee F said Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, so we're going back a little ways in the comments here, but it's worth it. We have the best comment section on the internet. I gotta give some love to this comment section here. Map76107 says, making me feel guilty for watching close to 2 hours of you doing what I should be doing. Time to get back to work. Well, just do it while you're working. That's what I do. I've always got some YouTuber on in my headphones while I'm working. Just helps normalize it. Dryden Flips said, been waiting for a new video. So glad you're back. You guys are awesome. You're awesome, Dryden Flips. Thanks, man. Let's see. Colin Parrish, 676. Yeah, Colin. Yeah, let's go, Joe. I figured you were in the lab putting in that work. Congrats on breaking 1K a day again. Happy holidays. Good to have a new video from you. I love when your wife comes on and talks about finances. I don't know if that's what you guys talk about. I just clicked on. Oh, you're great, man. Thank you. Colin had a great comment. He's a new eBay seller that Ethan and I talked about on a previous episode. This is just a little Sony PlayStation camera. These sell for like $6. Little PS3i camera. Another one of those like replenishables, you could say. Great Deals Depot said, I was just thinking today that I had not seen you lately, but he probably has a good reason. I just got myself caught up on social media for a bit, and today just started focusing back on things. It felt good to back into reality. Like you said, YouTube is a hobby for you to share info. Hobby. Keyword hobby. Yeah, exactly. Totally understand. Great seeing you for a bit. Glad everything's going well. May you eat and have a great Thanksgiving. Oh, thank you so much, man. So nice. Yeah. And we just feel surrounded by the love. Josh Graff, another awesome content creator on YouTube. So good. So consistent. Fastest intro in the West. The guy can talk up a storm. He's amazing. Thank you, Josh Graff. JW Jitsu said, yo, so good to see you guys. You too. CBS Daigle said, nope. Joe, I totally agree with you on the point of sharing information can hurt your business inadvertently by helping others with what's successful for you. However, you going the extra mile by doing all the cleaning that you do prior to selling them is probably not being done by them. In fact, some sellers of the Wii remotes don't even test them. Probably don't even test them. Glad to see you back. Yeah, good point. Very good point. Javier Berrigan said, I started looking more into Wii remotes because of Joe, but all the resellers that share info always grow. You reap what you sow. Don't stop sowing those seeds. Thank you, brother. Awesome. That is very encouraging. Thank you, man. It is worth it. If not monetarily, it's worth it for the feeling I get being part of this community on YouTube. Let's see. We got some more from Benny Stratton. Oh yeah, just doing some math. Yeah, talking about business expenses. Yeah, it's not work if you love it. This includes our profession of reselling, but it can be anything, including a relationship. Even something you love, like a relationship, requires effort. Work and effort are two separate things. You do something you hate and you get paid for it, that's work. You do something you love and get paid for it, that's called effort. Interesting. Yeah, I like that. Always got some good thoughts here. This is a black GameCube controller. Sold for $24.99. Tested and working. Prices dropped a little bit on these. I was trying to get $30 for them. I recently dropped the price to $24.99 just to get some movement here. Let's see. Adam J. Kell said, Joe, you'll be hard-pressed to build viewership on YouTube channel if you're doing the same videos over and over again. You need to switch it up. You and your wife need to record interactions on the road while doing your buying. The same old will level off, and even loyal viewers will eventually leave. Switch it up. Thanks for the feedback, man. I don't know. In some ways, I like the channels that are just consistent, and it's another video that I know I'm going to enjoy, and I can just click again. So I think there is definitely a spot in the market for consistency, and I think YouTube is such a hard market, a huge market, sorry, that if I do decide to be hyper consistent and literally only post the same video over and over again, I think even that would do good. I think what really just does well on YouTube is volume. You just got to post, whether you're posting variety or the same thing over and over again. But thank you very much. Thankfully, I'm a pretty sporadic person, so I will not continue posting the same video forever. I'm not too worried about that. But I'm not going to restrict myself either. I'm just going to kind of make this kind of video I want to make. And if that's a consistent video for a while, that's just, it is what it is. Renee F. said, Joe, I do think bringing light to the controllers could definitely be affecting the market. It's pretty niche. She also said, I feel like it takes about 3 weeks for all the inflammation to truly leave once you're in ketosis. Cool. Well, hopefully I'm getting there. I've been eating a little bit of peanut butter and molasses at night. So a little bit of carbs before I go to bed, but for the most part, I've been really good. Not good. It's not about good or bad, but I've been holding myself to a pretty high standard of reducing carbs most meals while still wanting to feel satiated so that I can kind of heal up this heel. So it's been going well. This is the PS4 VR camera. This is the first version. ZEY1 is the last 4 digits of that model number. Sold for $9.99 plus shipping. Capable the Book Lady said, great to see you back again. I enjoy your videos. Went back and watched a couple of your very first ones. Nice. Oh, the very first ones, like the Stoner Dad ones? Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's the start of the journey. Documenting the journey here. Benny Stratton again said, hey Joe, glad to see a video. I checked out the eBay store, figured out you were busy hard at work. Remember profit first, LOL, so AKA work first and YouTube playground. I figured you'd drop a video when you got a breather. Glad to see you rocking the sales. Keep it up. Hope we go all out of 2025 with a bang of a month. Yeah, I hope all of y'all are doing well too, man. It's been quite a journey. Benny Stratton also said, love your supply rack setup. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a new tour of the space sometime. I've got even more organization than ever around here. And the garage too is looking more functional. I mean, it's still a mess, but it's better than it was. Addy8 said, 100%. The information you've shared has caused people to go out and try to replicate what you're doing. It doesn't take thousands of people to cause a sudden dip in prices. It just takes one person at your level to scale a business to cause such a decrease. I don't know. I think it could cause some small effect, but I think the market for Nintendo Wii stuff on eBay is probably pretty huge. I mean, I am like top 10 seller on the eBay seller report for like controllers and cables usually. But I don't know what I'm not one. And that gap could be 2x or it could be 10x what I'm doing. I have no idea. Be More Sexy says, I pre-pack all big items and consoles as well. Easier to store on racks, but takes up more space. Way more incentive to sell, in my opinion. Also, it makes you feel it when you buy a crap item. It makes you not want to buy bad items in the future. Exactly. If you have to not only go to the hassle of listing an item, but then packing it right away, you're spending a lot of time thinking about if that item's going to sell or not. I think that's good. All right. I think I'm going to take a little break, change out the battery in this camera, and we'll get back to it. All right, we're back here. I'm trying to record my screen as well. I'm a little distracted, but I think it should be popping up over here. Still new to the recording screen. New to life. Bear with me. Just made an awesome sale on my eBay store. Check this out. A little bolo for you. A little rare bolo on the Profit First Reseller channel. This PS3 Nyko controller. So it's just a little like pistol grip controller handle for the PS3, like the Move motion controllers. $179 for the little. So the Nyko Perfect Shot for Wii is also like the best from what I can understand because they sell for about $25 for Wii. So there's a white and blue version of this for the Wii. Sells for $25. Definitely a bolo as well, but this black and orange one, never seen it before. The Nyko Perfect Shot, $179. I forgot I had that thing listed. Damn. And we're at like almost $600 in sales already today, and it's 9:11 a.m. So, pretty good. Pretty good. All right, we got some more stuff to pack here. Another power supply for the NES Classic. So I'm just going to type in CLV. And then I just Control V. Not Control V, sorry. Control G is search next. So by hitting Control G, you can just kind of quickly kind of scroll through or jump to all of the different items that have that thing that you just type in it. So I type in CLV, but there are a couple of items that I have in my solds right now that have CLV. So then I just quickly use my other shortcut, Control G. On my other mouse, I had that mapped to one of the buttons. I haven't done it with this new mouse yet, but where I could just quickly hit Control G as a macro on one of my mouse buttons. And that way, it's just less time on the keyboard. Yeah, cool. All right, it's going for exactly $5. That's fun. Fun when the rates are at a point where it's an exactly $5 charge. All right. Be More Sexy says, I pre-pack all big items and consoles as well. Well, you're one of the few. I feel like that's a rarity these days. One of these Switch grips. I just sold this lot of 4 Nintendo Switch grips, but this one's got a bunch of stuff on it. I think that it will clean up. Way more incentive to sell, in my opinion. Yeah, I think it does. The more work you put in up front, it is more incentive to sell. It makes you better at buying, is what the other commenter was saying. I don't remember who said that, but yeah, it definitely makes sense. Also, it makes you feel like crap when you buy an item, not makes you want to buy bad items in the future. Yeah. That's a point I never really thought about, but I think that definitely plays into it. I've always kind of listed my items right after I bought them, and so you're constantly questioning from that perspective, like, why did I buy this? Now I have to do all this work. Because in some ways, buying can be the fun part, but not anymore. I've kind of separated myself from that. For me, I don't let myself enjoy the buying as much. I mean, it's fine. It feels like opportunity sometimes, but the real opportunity is in the sales. And that's what really gets me going, gets me motivated. So with this, I'm just going to search grip, because I know that I call them grips in my listing. And Pirate Ship already knows I'm going to pack this in a 13 by 10 poly bag. So there's a lot of 4. These are the little grips that turn your 2 Joy-Cons into a controller. I just wait till I get 4 of them, sell them in a lot. Oh, interesting. My CO2 level is spiking, or is this thing broken? No, it's just going out of whack. It was just going up and up. I don't think it's that bad. All my talking over here, my yapping. I do have a little CO2 sensor, but sometimes they go out of whack and just start randomly beeping, which I don't love. I might return them. Now that I'm thinking about that, I think that's what was beeping last night. There was one time I got woken up by a beep. And I think it was one of these CO2 sensors that I just installed around the house. So I have noticed. It's kind of why I like having a window cracked near where I work. Especially when I'm yapping like this, probably. But just in general, I think I consume a lot of oxygen, expel a lot of CO2, but that's not good to be sitting in. You don't want to be sitting in a lot of carbon dioxide. So I like getting some fresh air moving. I'm a big fan of fans, so to speak. And cracking a window, always nice. And in this case, I've kind of combined them into a window fan that's propping up with my window right now. This is the version 2 sensor for the PS4 VR, the more rounded camera. And Pirate Ship knows it's in the 8-ounce class. It's going in the pink poly bag, so I just kind of click through as I am packaging it up. And this one is going pretty local here in Texas. You should get this quickly. What's next here? Mr. Exquisite says, Joe, call your postmaster and set up a real meeting. Bring in some coffee, donuts, and talk about your pickups and what your options are. Most are really accommodating. I've had to do this and it's really beneficial. If your carrier cannot get all your packages, they will set up something with you that's way cheaper than a $250 pickup. It can be around $20 to $35 a day, but well worth it. Yeah, thank you. Yes, I think I misspoke. It was only like, yeah, it was maybe 300, 250 maybe a month or something for the pickups or something like that. I don't remember what the price was. Right now, we're just scheduling pickups the normal way. And actually, we had one hard conversation with one of our mail carriers about just, you know, what the expectations were. And now, since then, it's been great, honestly. It's been so great. Everyone's been doing so good. I'm feeling so grateful for our setup that we have right now. Part of why I put out all those gifts outside our door right now for all of our delivery drivers and all of our pickup people. Like I only had to go to the post office maybe a dozen times this year. That's pretty incredible when you're doing selling items every day, you know, with 24-hour handling time on eBay. It's a lot of, you know, it's a lot to put on my mail carriers to expect that this stuff's going to get scanned in. So my metrics, a lot of my metrics as far as top rated seller and all that stuff is in the hands of these package carriers. And this year, everybody just rocked it. Everybody's been so good. I mean, UPS, solid as a rock and so nice. FedEx, solid every single time. So nice, so cool. I'm so appreciative of them. Post office, a little more hit or miss, but they have a larger staff, you know, and there's a lot of new people that are picking up the route, and all of a sudden they come to our house and there's 10 IKEA bags that don't even fit in the truck. They're gonna have to make an extra trip. I can understand why sometimes they don't want to pick up our package. Like, I get it, right? I get it. And like, they may or may not be getting paid extra to do all this extra work. So I get it. And I'm grateful when it works out and when people are like taking pride in their jobs and helping me take pride in mine. I want to do a good job as well. So man, just so grateful. I'm feeling very grateful this year. So this is just, I don't know if y'all have played, this is Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. It's actually a free downloadable Switch game. So if you can just find one of these, you can play it. And you do need the cardboard things too, but I also sell those separately on my store, and you can buy them separately. And it's usually a lot cheaper just to buy the car and the replacement cardboard things, and that's all you need. The game's a free download. And this little camera will, I got a little something on there, will notice when it's driving through the gates, and that will register in the game and actually turns your house into kind of a Mario Kart track. It's really, really cool. And this sold for $30. I wanted to pull up my listing because I forgot what size box, but this fits in a 10 by 8 by 6. I think it's just a little bit too tall for the 10 by 8 by 4. So yeah, Mr. Exquisite, I mean, we at that point, when we made that video, we were in a much harder spot where we just had a difficult conversation, but we weren't sure what the outcome of that was going to be. And it's been great. It's been really, really great. So right now we're cruising. No need for any big heart-to-heart talks with the postmaster yet. Mr. Exquisite also said, even your wife is annoyed. You do YouTube videos. But congrats on getting that 90-day up there. Your business and family life is way, way more important than us plebes on social media. Oh, no, there's no plebes. We're all people. I'm happy to see a video, though, LOL. I'm always happy to see you comment, Mr. Exquisite. Thank you, man. Let's see what the 90-day total's at right now. It's been climbing. Where are we at? Well, that's a fun number. 109, 109. 109, 109. We're climbing. We're doing good. It's been a good fourth quarter for sure. All right, $30 plus shipping for this guy. And I got 2 of these Xbox Type S controllers. I'm actually a fan of the Duke, I gotta say. I don't actually love the way this one feels. I mean, it's fine, but it does feel a little bit more like cramped and small. I like the Duke. It's more relaxed. It feels like you're almost holding the tablet like a Wii U console or something, or Wii U gamepad, I mean. I love it. Anyway, these are the Xbox, for the OG Xbox, but the new version of the controllers here. So if I just search type, that'll pop up. I didn't know if I'd sold these separately or together. I believe they sold separately to 2 different people. And there are 2 variants of these, very slight, but one of them has the green cable, like the OG controllers, and one of them has this black cable, which does get less sticky. So I think the black is an upgrade. But I sell them on just 2 separate listings, kind of replenishables. This one sold for $19.99 plus shipping, and it slides in at just under £1. if I pack it in a poly bag. So I just pack it well with bubble wrap and pack it in a poly bag, and that saves me on packaging materials and on the shipping label, being able to keep it under a pound. Be More Saxy said, both my postmaster and main pickup person are both older. They're very detailed and scan all the items. Usually the younger workers are in a more in a rush, in my experience. Yeah, I found the same thing. And yet, from what I've heard, our older mail carrier, who takes his time, he literally brings a stool, a pop-out stool, pops it out outside of his truck and scans all my items right there in our driveway. It's so amazing. And he doesn't seem in a hurry, and yet apparently he finishes that route in half the time of everyone else, and he can just pick up extra routes. So he's just deadly efficient. It's pretty cool to watch him. And he's retiring soon. I haven't seen him in a few weeks. I always wonder if this will be the last time I'll see him. I hope not. But eventually he's going to retire. Okay, so this one was a 2-pack. So these remaining 2 S-type controllers are going together. So you're going for $39.98 plus shipping in the 10x8x4 box. Eating food is fun, said, dude, you gotta talk to your postmaster about your packages. Yeah, I mean, we've talked to her many, many times, especially since you try to communicate with your carrier already. Yeah, it's frustrating, but again, like I said, we've worked it out. You pay for that service, both with your labels and taxes. Yeah, I mean, it's not a freight pickup, and I wonder if at a certain point, I mean, if my stuff like literally doesn't fit in the truck, I don't know, I can see why drivers are annoyed with me sometimes. That's all I'm saying. Pipe Dreamer 1986 said, oh no, sorry, Playroom said, I feel that way a lot, thank you. Pipe Dreamer 1986 said, I'm all in on the philosophy talk. New channel idea? I might just keep it all on the same channel. It's all just me. I don't know. I don't know if I'm a fan of segmenting the channels like that. But I don't know. Probably does make more sense. But there are also playlists and things like that. Red Devil Bazaar said, I suffered with planners for years. I went to the chiropractor and he cracked my feet. Oh, cool, and fixed it instantly. He does that once every 90 days or so. I've never had the issue again. Wow, cool. I'd love to get my feet cracked. Yeah, mess them up. I don't know. I have not tried that. Benny Stratton said, that is how you grow naturally, step by step. Those thinking they can grow 60% year over year, that's just crazy, thinking they're setting themselves up for failure and disappointment. So you're at 5% growth in a down economy. That's nothing to sneeze at. Just remember, slow and steady wins the race. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, we will be probably between a 5 and 10% improvement over last year, which I'm super stoked on. I think that's awesome. This is just the cases and some of the accessories for those Xbox Elite controllers that are literally the most broken controllers I've ever seen. Like, when I pick up an Xbox Elite controller, I estimate 90 to 95% of them are broken by the time I get them. Why do they break so much? Seems like so much more than just the regular Xbox One and Series controllers. I don't know why. Man, they're bad. They're so bad. Is it build quality, or is it just the people that buy them just use them until they break? I don't know. I have not heard great things about the longevity. And the price is just ridiculous. And it does seem like the Xbox Series controller has pretty excellent build quality. So I don't know what's going on. Man, those Elite controllers are just horrible. And the fact that the joysticks pop off, the D-pad pops off, it's not a strong enough magnet to keep those on. They pop off way too easily. I got complaints about the Elite controllers. This is the Elite Series 2 controllers, just 2 cases here. Sold for $14. Get them out of here. That's what I say. So I gotta type in the dimensions here. As I've said before, I remapped the plus button on my numpad to be tab, so I can just quickly type in the dimensions, and then I just hit the plus key with my pinky, and can quickly tab through, so I can hit the numbers and the tabs all with one hand. Makes it a lot faster. I have that set up on both sides. Actually, I have a numpad over here, but right now I'm just having both with my right hand. It's been working okay. But I have taught myself to use my left hand as well. What we got here? Another backbone. I think this is the nice one. This is the BB-51. And this one sold for more than typical. Yeah, this one sold for $25 instead of typical was about $15. And this is the USB-C edition. So it's got a little USB-C. You just pop your phone in there. You can play games. It has pass-through charging. All right, let's see here. This is going in an 8-ounce class. Yeah, I never sold this one before. Benny Stratton also said it dropped in price because they finally made a new NCAA football game prior to the new one. The last one was 2014, so NCAA football fans did not have a new game to play since 2014. Now they do, so they don't need the old one. Yeah, NCAA 2014 was one of those weird Xbox sports games that was worth so much money for a while, and then it just dropped precipitously. And now it's worth, $15 or something. It was almost $100 for that disc at one point. In my eBay selling careers, that's one of the most crazy swings of a video game price I've seen, was that NCAA 14. Really interesting, specifically for Xbox 360 and I think also PS3. Igor Saxey says, the price between wholesale Wii remotes and the price we're selling them for cleaned and tested isn't that vast. I just sell them in bulk lots and gain that time to process higher dollar items. Yeah, I think that's what we're doing now, man. Thank you. I like to have clean controllers to bundle with consoles, but controllers in general is a lot more work per item to process. I go back and forth. Wii remotes had gotten down to the price of more like 12 or 15 per unit, where it didn't really seem worth it to process individually. Some controllers are in the $20 to $30 range, and that does seem more worth it, because then it's almost like the price of a small console, like a Wii or something. It's about $30, but even easier in some ways than a Wii. So for some controllers, I do think that it's worth it, but for Wii, I think the price is right there on the borderline, where I think I'm pretty happy that we've reconsidered that. And thankfully, you're right, the price disparity between cleaned and not cleaned is not that huge. So we're able to just shave a few dollars off our profit, hand that off to somebody else, but also handing off a lot of that work as well, and cleaning and smelling, rubbing alcohol fumes and all that. Let's see. Where did I put the box for this? Somewhere over there. I don't want to stand up yet. All right, big bin is done. Now I have a small bin, and then a bunch of the items are still in this room in different shelves, so we're not out of the woods yet. But we are making progress. Here we've got 4 Wii sensor bars. And I think, so one thing on Pirate Ship, you can print labels for multiple items at a time, of course. I don't usually do that because the way that Pirate Ship works, for some reason, it will only choose one carrier. So it'll choose the lowest total price if it either does 4 USPS labels or 4 UPS labels. But it won't give you a mixture of both. And in most cases, I'm trying to price compare and make sure they get the cheapest for each individual item. But in this case, all of these items are under 4 ounces. And UPS is never competitive for items under 4 ounces. That's always going to be going via the post office. So in this case, if I have 4 identical items and they're all under 4 ounces, I can ship them all together. That's what I'm trying to say. And that's what I'm going to do. So I just check the boxes next to each one. And then I click get rates for 4. I do want to check and make sure those people did not order any other items. Yeah, cool, okay. Let's click get rates. And I can start packing these up. So it just helped me batch a little bit. And the way this auto peel printer works, it'll just save the other 3 labels in the queue. So I'm clicking print on all 4 labels at once. Only 1 label will pop out of the machine, and then it'll just sense when I pull each label, and it'll pop out the next one in sequence, which works just fine for my process here. Kind of keeps it all organized. So I'm just going to click get rates for all 4. While I pack up all these 4 here. Kind of nice to batch this stuff every once in a while, especially on a big orders day like today, where we started off with 99 orders to pack after I'd already packed some of the pre-packed boxes and just put them outside. It's fun how pre-packing all my consoles and all my larger stuff made it so I look forward to when I used to kind of dread selling the larger stuff because I'd have to pack it up and it was kind of physically more difficult, and now they're already packed up in a box. All I gotta do is slap a label on it, so I am much more incentivized to sell that stuff because it's not any more work. The work's already been done. There's not that. I think subconsciously sometimes I can be kind of aware of like, oh, if I click accept, it's gonna be more work as well. So that's the first one. Javante said, I just started a YouTube series. Oh, cool. I got to check you out. I just started a YouTube series starting with 500, trying to get to a 1 million net worth. I posted episode 1, it's been a month, and I'm going to post episode 2 next week. It's so hard finding time to do YouTube when I do eBay and my main job. I get it. Oh, cool, man. I got to check out that channel. Javante, I got to check you out, man. At this point, this was 2 weeks ago. You at least should have that one more, if not a second video out. So I love, it sounds like just my kind of content. Getting scrappy, figuring it out, balancing multiple responsibilities. Benji Time said, I pre-pack. Way to go. Another pre-packer. Love that. We should start a group, have a meetup. Pre-packers of America. Pre-packers of the world. Unite. Ethan said hi. Yeah, I think at one point he texted me in the middle of a recording. So I said hi to him. He said hi back. Matney Resells says, I know you're both aware, but your kids are so extremely lucky to have you as parents. You are both humble, kind, and patient. Ah, that's so nice. Thank you so much. Wow, that is so sweet. Wow. Thank you. Yeah, that is, we try. Man, we definitely try. All right, this is a set of 2 of these Wii steering wheels. It's a Mario and Luigi set. Sold for $15. Just needs a couple layers of bubble wrap. Put it in your poly bag. These things with their build quality and rounded corners, they're going to be just fine. And also, if I put any more layers of bubble wrap, they won't squeeze into this 13 by 10 poly bag. So this one is in that 13 by 10 and 12 ounce category. So you can just, I haven't sold this one yet. I just made a new listing for this lot of 2, and I sold both that I made within a day or 2. But I need to, now it's kind of locked into Pirate Chip. I don't even have to tell it to save it. It'll just remember now when I do the next one. Let's see. Yep, it'll just remember what the dimensions and weight are. I'm gonna pack up the second one here. And Heather said, that's the nice thing you can say to me. The nicest thing you can say to me. Appreciate the positivity. Oh, yeah. Heather's the best mom. Heather, you're the best mom. She really is. Our kids are super lucky. Benji Time said, shipping with FedEx is amazing with eBay labels. Shipping anything 50 pounds isn't over like $30. The FedEx store people started asking what I'm shipping, which I usually tell them it's an eBay item, but then they dig deeper to know what it is. Kind of weird. Have you ever experienced this, dropping off FedEx packages? Oh yeah, that just means they know you and like you. I bet they probably are wondering that all day, but they don't ask people except the people they feel comfortable with. So yeah, people ask me all the time what's in the boxes. Yeah, it's very common. And even though the drivers have come in, just recently there was a new UPS driver that was filling in for another guy, and he was amazing. And he was like, what are you selling here, man? What is this stuff? And I was like, oh, we sell electronics and we sell on eBay. And he's like, man, put it here. He's like, you guys are doing awesome. It's so funny. I said, yep, Benny Stratton said, I've started using FedEx again after like 20 years. Yeah, FedEx does have some good prices. But FedEx will ding you on overages. I think they're extra strict on that. Yeah, I've noticed that as well. So you got to be really careful and be precise with your dimensions. All right, here's a little lot of 3. I did a bunch of these lots of games. Kind of thinking for the holidays, people might want lots of like Just Dance games or Wii or Rock Band or Guitar Hero lots. So this is a lot of 3 Guitar Hero games for the Wii. And I just ran them all through my resurfacer real quick, just on the lightest setting, just to kind of clean them and buff them a little bit. They're all ready to go. And sold for $19.99. So I'll take it. This seems like an easy to approach format. I'm just like a lot of similar games. Seems to make sense. Some Wii games are just shovelware, and I'm just going to throw them in a lot altogether. But all right. Let's do that. All right. I am having some stomach grumbles. So what I'm going to do is put a steak in the air fryer and come right back. So I'll be right back. All right, we're back here. Hopefully the screen's back. Put a little steak in the air fryer, ate some sardines. I got a delivery. So I put out those snacks for the delivery people, and our first delivery came. And not only do we depend on our pickup people, the UPS and the FedEx and the post office, I personally really depend on our Walmart delivery people too. We have this in-home service where you pay them a yearly fee, and you get free delivery basically. And so all of our groceries have gotten delivered all year through Walmart. And so our first delivery was a Walmart delivery person, and she grabbed a snack and a drink, and she did a little heart into the camera. I was watching on the doorbell camera, and she said thank you. So that was so sweet. So definitely makes it worth it. I feel like I've set out a little trap, and now I'm like watching to see who comes and grabs the snacks. So I get a lot of weird satisfaction out of that. That's a fun way to start the day. We still have 1 billion orders to pack. I'm not even going to check. I'm just going to do some more, and we're just going to get some more done here, and we're going to talk about some more comments and this one. So always look out if you see a controller. Basically what this company does, Scuff, with this they have this little S emblem here where they've taken out the PlayStation button. It usually has a P there, but you'll notice, and why it's easy to miss these, and usually they're worth even more than your actual genuine OEM controller from a Sony or a Microsoft. If you see one with this Scuff branding, this one also subtly says Scuff in these pink rings. It says Scuff. Sometimes the back label can get scrubbed off. This one didn't. Anyway, basically, I think what this company Scuff does is they actually take these genuine controllers and then improve them. And so it still has the original, in this case, Sony PlayStation 4 motherboard, but then they've upgraded the joysticks and the buttons and the grips and all kinds of stuff. This one actually did have joystick drift, so it's only selling for $15, which is a little bit low for even a broken Scuff. But this particular model just doesn't have a lot of demand. A lot of times the ones that are remappable or have a lot of the rear triggers, sometimes we'll add those rear paddles on the back that kind of stick out. Those can be a lot more because they're just adding more functionality to an otherwise stock controller that I think even for competitive players shouldn't get you banned or anything, because it is still just a genuine PlayStation controller at the end of the day, not a modified aiming device or anything in that way. I mean, it is modified, but in a legit way. So yeah, look out for Scuff. There's a few other companies like that, but Scuff is the main one. They seem to have the majority of the market as far as the ones that I see, unless I'm just missing a lot somehow. So yeah, it sold for $15. And let's see. Miss Lachey says, when a particular category is talked up, people definitely get the idea to jump into that category. I've done it, and I've seen many examples of it. Depending on the category or item, it may or may not have an effect, but it definitely can. The right person who maybe has a better edge or advantage or offers a more reasonable value can potentially increase your slice of the pie. I don't believe in having a scarcity mindset, but there's a reason why there's a secret sauce. Yeah, it is weird, but I'm trying to just hold both ideas at the same time. That I do desire to share and teach about business while I'm also running a business, which means that I am increasing competition for myself. And I think that I've just learned to accept that in some ways and to just let it make me get better, I think, in some ways. Bukowski Quotes says, this guy's one of the most arrogant, dishonest trolls around. So I don't think he's talking about me. He might. I think he's talking about Mason here, my buddy Mason. He goes by Pegasus Lounge on YouTube. And he, I guess to give some background, he tends to make these, big headline thumbnail videos featuring other eBay resellers on YouTube, but often pointing out their flaws. Like very rarely does he actually say someone's doing it right. And that just, and in a way, he's following the views. I think we've had conversations about this of like, why does the straight up educational content not get the views, but the salacious stuff gets so much more engagement, so much more views? Like, I don't know. I think that's just human nature in some ways. But I do like calling out people that are not preaching the correct stuff. If their numbers don't add up, I like seeing that stuff. So I think in some ways he's right. Let's see what Bukowski quote says. This guy's one of the most arrogant, dishonest trolls around. Sad to see him on here. He's making videos attacking resellers by misrepresenting their arguments so he can farm their names and audiences for clips so he can sell his little consulting grift. Okay, so I would disagree, obviously. As someone who considers myself a friend of Mason, I think that maybe, I'm sure all of us misunderstand. And I think even in his videos, I'm sure in some ways he's misunderstood those people in some ways. I don't think he's purposefully misunderstanding anyone. I think he's a pretty smart dude overall. And he is criticizing them and getting views, but I don't think he's purposefully misrepresenting anyone's argument. If he is, and making money off of it, yeah, that's unfortunate, but I don't think he's doing it purposefully. And I think for the most part, he's right. I think for the most part, I agree with him on this stuff, so. Let's see. Chasing VUG says, thank you so much. This is dope and exactly what I needed to see. I'm fortunate enough to have plenty of space, so I'm going to use my space to make money. Awesome. That's the way to do it. Whatever space you have. So we are still in a house. So this is me, my wife, 3 kids under the age of 10, and my entire inventory, and all the deliveries that I receive, all the pallets that I go pick up in our house. We do it all here out of the house. And I think that it is totally possible. And people think you need a warehouse way too early. They just assume, I think like one of these other comments, they've already hit that ceiling because they're hitting some difficulties. But I think in business, you're always going to have difficulties. There's always going to be constraints, and even warehouse owners, I think, are struggling about where to fit the next pallet in the next box. I think if you're using your space near its maximum, that's always going to be the case, no matter how big it is. And I'm just all about creating constraints for myself, and I'm just realizing that I have no idea what I just bought. It's a lot of 4 games, but I sold lots of 4 games today. Fortunately and unfortunately, so I have to redo this whole thing. Oh man, what are you gonna do? Yeah, here we go. Here's the SKU number 6672. There we go. Okay. All right, wrap this back up. Whoops. Sergio Camila Ramon said, "Hey, great content, and thank you for bringing us such awesome informational content. I have a question. Can you talk about shipping?" That looks like Dryden Flips thumbnail. Weird. Can you talk about shipping? Is it more affordable to ship via pirate ship than eBay shipping? Sometimes, but I think overall it's about the same. And I do still go on to eBay if I think that FedEx is going to be cheaper if it's a larger package, because pirate ship does not have an agreement with FedEx. Only UPS and USPS. But I still do FedEx packages and just schedule pickups. Let's see. This weighs exactly 15.1 ounces. Like that. Oh, I also remapped another key on my numpad to Shift tab in case I typed the wrong one. I can go back one section on my dimensions area, and then I can also click enter, of course, on that same numpad. So my numpad's able to do all that stuff. There we go. This one's a nice little sale. This was the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus. There's a little Android-based little emulation tablet. I think this sold for like $100 or something. $109.99. Yeah, full price. That's awesome. Florida Native. Okay, yeah, Florida Native 59 said, do you use FedEx drop-off locations like a Walgreens, or did you take the package to FedEx? Neither. You can just schedule a FedEx pickup for free on the FedEx website. Just make an account and click schedule pickup, and they will just come to your house. My FedEx guy is so reliable. He usually comes between 9 and 10 a.m. and picks up our packages, and he's so awesome. So, and it's free. That one's free. That's pretty cool. Nerf Kangaroo 17 said, sorry if you said it before, but where do you source and get your inventory? Do you buy pallets? That is just one of those things I don't share. Ref Boucher says, you're very cool, man. I started full-time reselling 2 months ago. I just hit my first 10K in 30 days. Way to go. You inspired me to do more. Keep it up. Thank you, man. You keep it up. Oh, Raf Boucher. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I definitely will. Queen Bee AZ, talking about getting more property, said you could set up an RV spot and rented some snowbirds. Yeah, true. Or nice retired folks. Maybe that'd be a workaround for the tenancy. Yeah, good point. She also said, if this property is the right price and your eBay business can afford the mortgage, it's kind of meant to be. I mean, it can afford the mortgage, but I'm just putting all that money into investments instead. And that money makes me money without any work and without, I think as much risk as putting, a significant portion of our net worth into another property. I think at some point it's going to be the move, but I don't know if we're there yet. Oh, it just fell out of the bubble wrap. That's not a good sign. I think I'm going to put these in a box. No, it's going to put it under £1 if I do it in this. I'm just going to make sure the corners are protected and it doesn't slide out. And then kind of size down the poly bag by folding it over. Yeah, that's going to be good. Yeah, see, that puts it at 13 ounces. That's way better. So it's 4 Just Dance games and a lot. Just Dance 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the Wii. Sold for $35 plus shipping, that lot there. Rex Manning said, I was diagnosed with pre-diabetes 6 months ago and it was the wake-up call I needed. Dove headfirst into weight loss and nutrition. Way to go, Rex. I've been highly considering adding creatine to my supplements, but realized to get the full benefit, I'll need to start lifting. Not true. I think everybody would benefit. I mean, I guess to get the full benefit of protein, of just eating food in general, you should be lifting. But no, creatine is so good for your brain as well. Hydration. I think it could give you that extra mental energy to want to start going to the gym and to put in the effort to go to the gym. So just start that now. And creatine is just so safe and so cheap. Sorry, but to get back to it. But to realize the full benefit of it, I'll need to start lifting, which I should probably do anyways. Thank you for your tips. I kind of let my health go in my 30s, and you're right. It's much more expensive to fix things after you have health issues. Prevention is the answer. Thank you. It's definitely something that you hear from a lot of more experienced folk. JW Jitsu, yeah, this is when I had not posted in so long. Thank you, man. So no pressure at all, but we're jonesing. Hope all's well with you guys. Oh yeah. And Ethan and I, I'm sure, will be back to making content soon. Just on a little hiatus here. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Thank you, Sergeant. I don't even know what I was saying. Hopefully what I'm saying is obvious. It's better than being illogical, I guess. Chris Day 90 says, how do you keep your products in a not too damp or humid environment in your garage? My problem is space, and I'm skeptical about storing product in my garage, being as I'm in the south and the garage can easily get to like 120 plus degrees. Yeah, 120 plus degrees can start affecting adhesive, fabric, certain plastics. I would be concerned about that. Also, humidity is an issue. Thankfully, where we are in the DFW area, where it's very dry, so we have to have humidifiers here in the house
for me to avoid sinus issues, but in our garage, it's very dry. So mold is not an issue. I do try to keep the air moving with an air purifier slash fan. Right now, I've just got an old Dyson HEPA air purifier slash fan that circulates the air in there. So I think as long as you keep the air moving, I've heard I'm sure even in damp environments, that's what Tekken Sports always said, would have fans. As long as the air is moving, it's going to be a lot better. When it is damp, he was in Florida, so he was dealing with more of the damp stuff. So yeah, we're pretty lucky. And the garage doesn't get that hot since it is attached to our house. And I am kind of moving the air around. It never gets that hot. It kind of moves along with our house temperature. Queen Bee AZ said, I thoroughly enjoyed this. Thank you so much for sharing your time, guys. Thank you, Queen Bee. Mr. Exquisite said, love the portion talking about happiness and achieving your level of happiness and goals. I highly recommend everyone listen, read, or watch Dr. Arthur Brooks. Most may have heard of him, but he literally breaks down the science of happiness and teaches a course on it in college and has written some outstanding books. All right, thank you, Mr. Exquisite. I'm going to have to write that down right now. Dr. Arthur Brooks from Mr. Exquisite. Thank you, Mr. Exquisite. Let's see. This is a lot of 4 of the little breakaway adapters for the OG Xbox controllers. Just sold for $9. Got a lot of 4. That's one of those little replenishables there. Vintage Replay said, agree so much in what you said. Refreshing to hear. Thank you. That one I was talking about Tekken Sports quote, I guess, or a thought from Tekken Sports of why he doesn't really haggle or negotiate price too much. He's talking about how would you do that with a mom and pop pizza shop, and how a lot of the people at flea markets or even your local thrift shop are just small businesses. So I think just the idea of being aware who you're negotiating with, like lower prices is not always the best. For the same reason sometimes I cringe when I watch like honestly like a Phoenix resale video these days. It was very influential to me early on in reselling, but something that I never really did. It never really sat right with me. Was going into these small video game shops and negotiating. Like, I'm happy to go support them, but they're constantly asking for a deal just because they can give it to you doesn't mean they should. Like, I would consider that the tip. Just pay full price. They don't have a tip jar. You can unnegotiate. You can say, I know I could argue this person down 10 or 20%, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to pay them what I think that the item is worth. I forgot what this is again. What am I doing? What are you? Oh yeah, this is the GameCube composite cable. Hilarious. Sorry, Heather. I'm wasting so many poly bags in this video. Hopefully the monetization pays for the poly bags, though. We're good. The new Fuji Apple Ginger Red Bull drops today, by the way. Oh, but also Queen Bee AZ said, when I quit eating carbs and sugar, I traded that for delicious sugar-free energy drinks. I know they're horrible, but it's straight dopamine relationship now. Hey, I think that you have to replace it with something, I think. And they don't have to, but I think that's an effective strategy. And I don't know. I mean, diet soda is so much better than sugary soda, in my opinion. I would agree on that. All right, what is this one? Some random power adapter. This item is old, like years old. And I would just get random power adapters at the Goodwill bins. But eventually it sold for $8.99 plus shipping. Only took like 4 years probably. Great. Dryden Flip says, looping back around and watching this again, thanks for all you do. It says, thanks for the encouragement. You're so right. If you don't give up, you can't lose. It's only a matter of timeline and your ability to get on pace and just consistently keep at it. That's right. That is the name of the game. Focus and consistency. I think that's what humans are best at. It's sounding like, and it's looking like these labels are almost done. So I'm gonna have to change and get a new roll. That's what happens when you sell too much stuff. Here we got another Backbone mobile controller here. There we go. I believe this is the BB01. There we go. This is one of the older ones. This sold for $11.99. And Pirate Ship already knows how much it weighs. Will's Reclaimed Vintage says, just ran across your channel this morning and enjoyed. Subscribe. Thank you, Will's Reclaimed Vintage. Writing Flips. Ah, thank you. Says, did you ever look into that fine print about using rewards points for personal purchases? Either did send a link or tried to, and it wouldn't let me send a link. That is an email I think I need to respond to. I believe you did reach out to me, and I need to get back to you. So thank you, Dryden Flips. Yeah, we're talking about if it's legal to use business credit card points for personal stuff. And I'd love to revisit it. I feel like we did talk about it with our accountant, but I need to look at it again. So thank you. Thank you for that. You're just looking out. I appreciate it. Will's Reclaimed Vintage says, I'm just a small eBayer. I average 10K a year and have accomplished so much with that extra money. I love eBay. Helps me from touching my savings for my full-time job. Nice. This is one of those Power A controllers I mentioned. The wireless ones for Switch are worth at least my time to sell on their own. Not a lot. This one probably, yeah, sold for $9.99, but did sell. But I noticed I still have one more there in the bin, and I don't remember listing these that recently, so I think these have just been sitting around. Oh. Spilled a little. Forgot my sparkling water was there. Danger, Will Robinson. Let me get out of the rack here. Just a tiny bit, thankfully. If anything, the sparkling water will be cleaning my mouse pad here. I don't know what was going on there with my screen. Hopefully we're all good. Okay, still recording. Okay, I don't know. Hit some random keys there. Okay, get rates. Oh, nope. Not on default. I need to type in the dimensions. I'll just click the dimensions, and first I need to weigh it to see what the dimensions are. 13 by 10, 8 ounces. All right. I've accomplished so much with the extra money. I love eBay. Helps me touching my savings for my full-time job. Yeah, love that, Will's Reclaimed Vintage. That's so cool. Yeah, love that. This is a business. It should be providing money and should be worth it for the time you put into it, of course. So that's awesome. Oh yeah, we're done. Okay. I knew it was coming. So I'm gonna have to reprint that last label, but only after I replace the roll. Let's see how fast I can do it here. So this is again on this new auto peel printer. I'm selling my roll. I already listed it for sale on my eBay store because this printer has been so reliable. In fact, I found it even less finicky than the Rollo in some ways. Now this installation process, you have to remove this little thing and then put it back on, replace the roll, which is a little bit annoying. And then you do have to pre-peel the first one to get it started. But then after that, it works pretty dang well and has had even less issues than my Rollo. Sometimes my Rollo would get misaligned, and this one has never had that problem. So that's pretty cool. So you just kind of have to pre-peel that first label and feed it through, and then close it up, and it should be good to go. Push the button. Take a seat here. We're good. Let's try this. Perfect. Good. Good to go. All right, well, that's probably less than a minute. A quick tire change, quick oil change there, whatever you want to call it. A little bit of espresso. All right, got a Luigi car for Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. Just the Luigi.
one of these 10 by 8 by 6 boxes. And Pirate Ship already knows how much it's going to weigh. So I can start that whole process while I wrap this up. Mark Farr says, Joe, I hit it real hard from 1998 to 2021. Then I took 3 years off. Kids were grown. We needed time of our own. And I was too burnt out from working 80 hours a week. Wow, for a couple decades. Oh, I cannot get it to tear evenly. That is so unsatisfying with a bubble wrap. Sorry, Mark Farr. I was reading your comment there. We took those 3 years and went on cruises and hung out in Florida, road trips, etc. Super relaxed mode. Then I came back and started again. But now I do it more in retirement mode. I work part-time, but still make that full-time money for the most part. I say take a break, man. Sometimes we need it. Live your life, whatever kind of life you want. Wow. Thank you. Dude, best comment. I appreciate you guys so much. Like, best comment section ever. I mean, it is tailored for me in a way. It's on my channel, and I just appreciate all of you so much. It's just so nice. Wow. Green Door Investment says, look how many people die from the garbage that is sold every day. All the sugar, food dyes, etc. They're freaking out about raw milk. That commenter was probably a doctor, literally has a shorter lifespan than the rest of us, probably vaxxed. They don't know anything about keeping people healthy. Well, okay. Listen, I'm a mixture of hippie and science. I'm definitely vaxxed. I love my vaccines in a lot of ways. I think it really has helped me to maintain my health. But I would also agree that your doctor is often not the first person to ask as far as pursuing health. I think doctors are great for crises and emergencies, but I think that there are other experts who might be better suited to, I don't know, helping people pursue health. Because a lot of doctors are not any better at helping you get healthy than however healthy they are. Oh, shoot. Something just got unplugged. I don't know what just happened. But my monitor is off. When did that just hit? My computer's still on. All right, I'll be back in a sec. All right, I'm back. I just realized my desktop screen recordings are completely corrupted. Once again, for some reason, it seems like iOS, the screen recordings, the videos are always corrupted, and now on Windows too. Like, I just can't find a consistent screen recording software, so I'm still gonna release the video, but I'm not gonna worry about showing the screen. Unfortunately, I was worrying about it, and now I've just made the decision not to, but hopefully I've been shouting out all the commenters. So that's a little bit of a way to get some recognition. I feel kind of bad they're not gonna be on the screen like they often are. That's all right. Let's see. The next comment is from Death Pile of Disappointment. It says, an employee should be paying for themselves if you're doing it right. This is another one of those Mario Kart car onlys for $39.99. Yeah, it's true. An employee should be paying for themselves and should be, I would hope, creating less work overall. And I struggle to see that. Yeah, I think my job is just too specialized. I haven't really broken down this business into enough tiny little chunks to create a whole employee's worth of work. I'm still kind of jumping around doing a lot of stuff and just trying to be more efficient so I don't get stuck feeling like an employee doing one thing for too long. Just try to, sell larger lots or go wholesale or something like that. So, all right, what else we got here? We're almost to the bottom. In fact, we are now at the bottom of this bin. This thing needs to be paired up with the gates that are downstairs in a box. So I'm not going to worry about that for now. I've been dreading this, but I'm just going to eat my vegetables. I sold a couple of lots of these Wii power supplies, but they haven't been wrapped yet. So I'm going to put on some gloves and get these things wrapped real quick. Get them out of here. Let's see, how many lots of 5 do I have to do? Okay, so 2 individuals and 2 lots of 5. So I need to get 12 ready to go. And this is my last bin in the house. So I think my lot of 5 listing is now sold out, and I just have a few more listed on my regular listing. I've had an overabundance of Wii power supplies for a while, so maybe it just feels like this because I have
been doing a lot. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the box that I know a lot of 5 will fit into, and I'll just start placing them right into the box. I can fit 5 of these power supplies in a 10 by 8 by 4, and just line it with some bubble wrap here. And then I can just line up all 5 of the power supplies. So these just need to be wrapped here. And actually, I didn't realize it, but I've already remapped that back key on my mouse to Control G like I was talking about. So I'm just able to Control G real quick and see all the listings that have this model number RVL-002 in it. That's how I was able to really quickly see how many listings or how many of these I've sold that need to get shipped today. So this one sold for $15 for a lot of 5. So not great money, but it is good bulk to get out of here. To get more of these lots of 5 sold versus just the individuals, so that is saving me some time. Wayne Storage Co., another great YouTube content creator, said, yes, hour of quality content for the day. Yeah, right on. Talking about a podcast I did with Ethan. Land of 10K Sales says, love your channel, Joe. You're the reason we started our channel. Oh, cool. Hand pink waving. Right on. Thank you. Who are you? Land of 10K Sales. Nice. 282 subscribers. Video 8 days ago. I will have to check you out. Thank you, bro. Awesome. Jeff and Lauren. Oh, bro and Lauren. Thank you, guys. Ronan T. Wanderer says, where do you purchase your items to resell? Yeah, that's one thing I don't share. Sorry. Loot & Co. says, great point. Thank you. Oh, it's kind of red, or yellowed, I mean. Life is Short 5 says, I agree that the best thing you can do as a reseller is figure out what works for you. I like to listen to other reseller perspectives. Joe stated that that most full-time resellers bulk buy to be more successful. Well, I don't and can do this full-time successfully. Always 20 to 30 rank out of, 300,000 plus resellers in my category. I figured out a system that works for me, a la carding most of my buys. I'm sure most successful resellers bulk buy from reliable sources for sure. I don't, and shows that you can do things differently if it's a repeatable, proven method. I agree, and I try not to have any preconceived notions. So that is one more, number in my head that I need to put in my head of like, okay, well, that's one person who's not bulk buying. So yeah, definitely not everyone. Right, I need to be careful about my generalizations there. Benny Stratton says, that is the thing. If you use technology wisely, it can help you leaps and bounds no matter what. And Reddit is one of them. Even Facebook groups, and also even if you just lurk knowledge is power. Many do not have the patience to actually read things to gain that knowledge, even do any type of research. They want it fed to them on a silver spoon. As Ethan said, take everything with a grain of salt and be ready to use the info that actually works and roll it up into your own ball. This is how you discover your own self. You pick out all the things that are good and work from everyone that you either read or watch, and then make your own. Yeah, you're on fire, Benny Stratton. This is how you become your own person. I would never advise to follow anyone blindly. It does not end well 99.9% of the time. Agreed. Benny Stratton's also said, if the AI lister was so good, they would not need to pay any YouTube content creators to talk about it. That's my opinion. Well, not necessarily, because there might be more than one good one, and then it becomes a marketing war. And there might be an issue of an audience not even recognizing that the product exists. So that's a reason to market even a product that is good and works. So I don't really agree with that. Let's see. Be More Sexy said, you can plug in PS1, PS2 controllers into a PC with a cheap adapter. I need Windows though. Thank you. I did end up getting that adapter and I appreciate it. So I'm not reliant on that testing device for my PS1 and PS2 controllers anymore. Thank you for the advice. All right, this is the first lot of 5 going out. Be More Sexy said, I'd be with you on the controllers. Yeah, so I was kind of talking about over the last few episodes, figuring out a way. I'm kind of, scrolling back in time over these comments here about these weed controllers and how much work that they were. And actually, somebody reached out, I think I mentioned, on the YouTube channel and offered to buy a bunch of them, and they did. And it worked out great, and they want to buy some more. So thank you. Thanks, Jim. I appreciate it, man. We're going to get some more coming pretty soon. Let's see. So Be More Sexy said, I'd be with you on the controllers. Scrapping out gunk doesn't add any monetary value, really. It's just a quality standard you hold yourself to for your store. Either have them clean, stock photo, or parts dirty generally. I will a lot of times sell consoles with third-party controllers for this reason. It's easier to be consistent with your stock photos for consoles. Yeah, I found the same thing in like bundling high-quality third-party stuff and then just selling the name brand stuff separately often is the move. Miss Lachey Resell says, don't base your decisions on the advice of those who don't have to deal with the consequences. Wow, really great advice. Southern Vermont Vintage just said hi. Timo said the Rocket KRKs are nice. Yeah, they're amazing. That's the speakers that I use. I just jam out, or I crank it up when I play Overwatch. It's fun, very immersive. And I am out of bubble, so I need to get another bubble. More bubbles. All right, just like that, we got a new bubble wrap. Pretty quick. Quick. I got some pretty good systems down here for some of this stuff. I think some of it could definitely be improved in this small space. But when you're just, like the other commenter was talking about, like, I don't think there are any limits. And since I've set this constraint on myself, staying in a relatively small space, it just forces you to get really efficient. It's really fun. Let's see. Rex Manning says, very cool, great advice. Good on you for trying it. Oh yeah, so this is that's going back to this video where I was talking about this printer that I just changed out the labels in earlier in one of the other, or just earlier in this video, I guess. And yeah, this printer's been awesome. It's a printer that peels your labels for you, and it's so reliable. It is so good. Stacy A 3030 says, I definitely check with your town's zoning ordinances to see if it's permitted in a residential district. Yeah, that's when we were talking about buying a house just for doing eBay. 14650. This is so insanely relatable. LOL. I think it's actually when I was forgetting what I packed and had to reopen the package, which I've actually done multiple times in this video too. When I am expecting myself to talk and pack, but lucky more stuff doesn't go wrong over here. Mr. Exquisite, talking about the house, says this is not a horrible idea, especially if you like the other house as well. It will build equity as you grow your business as well. Yeah, it would be cool to get an even larger property at some point. Rex Manning, talking about my podcast with Mason, said this was by far my favorite collab convo. It motivated me to finally list my first item in years. Love Mason's mindset. I've been a collector of sports cards and vinyl records most of my life. When I got to my late 30s, I no longer enjoyed collecting cards and had more records than I could ever listen to, so I started selling on eBay and Discogs. Got a good 30 plus items under my belt when I lost my house to a fire. Luckily, my collections were stored in a place where the fire, smoke, and water didn't touch. Since then, I have a brand new house and life has changed a lot. And by the grace of God, I still have these collections, but I haven't been able to find the motivation to get back to selling them. You'd think almost losing them would be motivation enough. Started watching your channel for tips and tricks to get me going again. And I've learned a lot, but still didn't sell. No more excuses. It's all in the mindset. Thank you, Joe and Mason. Right on. Thanks, man. Rex Manning. Yeah, you've been commenting a lot lately. I can tell you're on fire, man. Keep it up. That's awesome. Mang3139 says, hey Joe, do you use any third-party software like Flipwise? I do not. I think Flipwise would be helpful for one thing that I think would just be one metric that I might be interested in, that I think would be motivating to me, and that is just how many items I've listed to my store today. Now, I'm in kind of a unique case where when I have a big listing day, often half or even 2/3 of the items that I'm listing are not actually new listings to my store, but rather I'm just processing and then updating the inventory of other listings that are existing on my store. But I still want that to count. Like, that is just as much adding value in listings to my store as anything, but it's harder to count that. It doesn't actually increase my active listings count. But that would be the number I'd be interested in. And I think that Flipwise can do that because it can track your total number of inventory and not just your items. So I've considered it for that, but that's the only reason. Let's see. K Kenyon says, I do feed the algorithm 40 listings a day because I think it pleases it? No, because I know at 40 a day, my product, it kicks off my weekly net profit I need. And if I choose not to, then I know I may not get that result. Yeah, keeps me on track. Exactly. I think you do need to know your numbers. It's just, you don't need to be magically consistent on a day-to-day basis. It's just about consistency over time in general. I think the point I was trying to make. Keeps me on track. I get pretty consistent sales on eBay, but I put in very consistent listings. Yeah, see, that's how you do it. The talented Mr. DP says, Joe, great video. Just a quick note, take Mason's critique with a grain of salt. He's brilliant, but clearly not aligned with the reseller mindset. What you're doing is working. Don't overthink it or change the formula. Thank you. I don't think Mason's critiquing anything that's working. I think anyone that just says, I enjoyed this as a little side hobby, he says, live your life. But I think when he sees people saying a certain type of business is a scalable business when it's not, that's where he comes in. I tend to agree with him on that. I mean, nobody's perfect, right? I think that he puts himself out there a lot in putting these thoughtful critiques together. And I think his critiques could also be critiqued like anything, but I think he's got a lot of useful stuff to say. Let's see, what else here? The gamer says 100%. Carry it home says I emailed you. Carry it home's great. So thoughtful. She's awesome. She's somebody that has come under fire a little bit from Mason, Pegasus Lounge. He's featured her a couple times. But I think she's actually took on, I think the critique that could be taken on board and just kind of let the rest of it float off her back. I think it's not a business for everybody, but she's figured out a way that works. Let's see. Flag 9 says, I looked into it before too. And she wasn't even talking about Pegasus Lounge. She was talking about something completely different on that video, but or in the email. She's just reaching out. But yeah, always great to hear from Carrie. They're awesome. Check out Carrie at Home. They're really like pro. They make my YouTube channel seem like amateur hour over here. They're amazing. Lag 9 says, I looked into it before too. It has to be zoned commercial unless you live there. Then they let you use 25% of your house for a no impact small business. Interesting. I do think it differs area to area. Thankful for the gigs says, does not sound bad. Finding a place with a scalability has been key for us. Having a basement has always been great for our first side hustle, flipping and selling furniture. Now that we're moving towards eBay, we have room to set it up and grow it. Also, it seems like having a property to just add a shed to is a trend. Yeah, we got 2 sheds already and I'm considering more. Not right now, but maybe one day. Pew Peacock said, honestly, a second house wouldn't be a bad idea if you have the means. The nice thing about a house is the capital is theoretically going towards a future investment. Potential renter property. when you retire, or if needed, you can sell it later and see some of that capital come back to you, which is better than renting anything. The downside is obviously the taxes, utilities, internet, and repairs for now 2 locations instead of 1. Yeah, see, that's the kind of roadblock I was coming up against as well. Before making any decisions, I would just sit down and make sure you mapped out the total monthly cost, plus would that leave you in a bad spot if something went horribly wrong, like the AC going out. Yeah. I mean, it'd be fine, but I just don't want extra expense right now. I just like turn my money into money. It's so quick. Mang says, here we get to Justin. All right, on. That's when we're talking about Justin Resells, who had me on, I don't know, a couple months ago. It was so nice. I'm alive. And I kept scrubbing the camera and making horrible sounds, but otherwise, I think we had a lot of fun. Miss Vab says, I agree. And we're getting down to it. Rob something says, acquiring real estate is rarely ever a bad decision. Your monthly expenses go towards your equity and not someone else, like when you rent anything. Yeah. Depending on the house and space in it, you may be able to use a portion for your business and rent out the other portion. A tenant with a lease or even short-term rentals, a la Airbnb, having options is always great. Owning assets is how you build wealth versus just making money. In addition to my primary house, I own 5 other properties. My tenants have literally paid for all of them. Now I not only have a steady revenue source from monthly rents, but even more valuable is the equity that continues to grow in each. Bonus is that I never plan to sell them, but will pass them on to my daughter when appropriate, with generational wealth being the goal for her. That's awesome. Thank you, Rob. Well, I'm done. I packed up both of those bins. I'm not done with all my orders. I have a few more small things, video games and bits and bobs. I'll be like running around the house. Not a house, just the room here. But I think I'm going to wrap up the video here. I think, let's see, how much did we actually pack up? We started off, oh, there's so many more things that have sold since. I keep selling things. But I think we sold around $3,000 worth of stuff, and now we're back up to a lot more. So now I still have 40 items to pack. What in the heck? I still have this guitar and shotgun over here, but thank you for joining me. This was fun. I don't know what I was going to say, packing $3,000 worth of orders, but I'm going to have to instead title it, I have $3,000 to pack. Let's talk or something. And thank you. Thank you for talking with me. Thanks for chatting. Let's do this again soon. I'm Joe, Profit First Reseller. See you in the comment section. Peace.